Ahoy there, mateys! It's time to set sail on another episode of Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. I'm your captain, Jim Bob Ovalshorts, and welcome back, everyone, to a new year and new episodes of the show. We took the week, that kind of dead week in between Christmas and New Year's off, because you don't even know what day of the week it is. I truly didn't. I was lost and totally lost track of time anyway, and it's all good. We're back and we're doing our thing as normal. I'm excited as usual to be back, and it looks like tonight with me I have Luis joining the gang. How we doing tonight, buddy? How have you been? How was your holiday and all of the above?
Good, crazy, and warm. Um, I guess not only is the predictions of climate by professionals and by people associated with nature wrong, we just have no clue because it's been warm as heck here. It's been
Yeah.
pretty warm, which is nice. It's not bad. But I think they said it had not snowed in Central Park more than an inch in 600 and something days.
Oh my. That's that's actually kind of wild. Yeah, we're pretty warm. It's actually raining outside right now, and it's going to be in like the high 50s tomorrow, and then in the 60s come this weekend with thunderstorms. So, uh, I don't like snow, but I don't like wet kind of low temperatures either. So I'm kind of at a loss. I just hate this time of year as far as weather wise, and I'm totally glad the hustle and bustle of the holidays is over because that is just draining in its own on its own level, especially when you have family to tote around and kids to play with, and just it's exhausting. I'll tell you, it's never ending. But I'm glad that it's done and over with. We had a great time. We did a whole bunch of fun things. The kids got everything that they could have asked for and more. Because yeah, I don't know. I try to do the things that I didn't get when I was younger. I don't know. That's just how I am. So I know they had a
What
good
would you say is that one thing that you are doing for them that nobody did for you?
they now have every game system that exists in the house, including an Oculus. Their Oculus arrived today. So
Oh,
they're actually
you are a gangster.
they actually they
You're already
actually
prepping them for the battle against the machines early
they
on.
you are right.
Stop prepping them for the war. It's
He
too early. It's
if
too
if you
freaking early.
if you guys happen to hear them get a little loud, it's because they're totally in there going ham on that Oculus right
So,
now as
which
we
one did you
speak.
get, the two or you were actually able to get the three? It's
It's the
very.
two. It's the two, but it's still. I
So I'll tell you.
mean,
No. I'll tell. I wore the three.
yeah.
At least the augmented. I sent you some insane clip you got to play,
All right.
just now. But let me put it in the group chat. So I have the two, and I then tested at least the augmented version of the three. It's very minuscule, the update, so it's not worth if you can get it on the used market for a very good deal because they just want to get the third one. So I would buy it used. I don't know if you got it used or new, but it's not worth. If it's in good condition, it's great. The machines, it's weird. Whoever Facebook
My
hired to build them is well built. So
my
very
my
strange to say something built by Facebook, but I guess
so my
hardware
my
they're not
super
fucking up,
so my
screwing up.
super awesome work partner that is actually not my work partner anymore because I got forced into my own truck here over the break, and I actually recruited my nephew to be my partner now because he needs some learning, but that's a different story in itself. But my work partner, he upgraded his kids to the three for Christmas, and he was like, "Hey, bro, do your kids have an Oculus?" And I was like, "No, they don't." And he was like, "Well, Merry Christmas," and he gave them to me. So I hooked them. I hooked the
That's
kids up with
sweet.
it. I hooked the kids up with them this evening finally, and they have, like I said, after it charged and I hooked everything up to it and logged all their stuff into it, like it is. They have been going ham, and when he figured out that he can play his Fortnite via the Xbox Cloud on the Oculus, he was just like, "I'm." He's done.
Oh,
Yeah,
didn't even think about that. But I've seen
yeah.
people playing, and it's like it uses somewhat of the widescreen, but not that much. I
He
don't know how if there's some people that get like more like the full experience.
he he's in there checking it out. He's been riding roller coasters. He's been shooting things. He's been dancing. He's been
Bone
playing.
works. Look
doing
up
all kinds of
Boneworks.
things. Oh yeah, the one they
There's
were in there
something
doing.
that's the only one I'm getting, and if I get anything, because Boneworks is like the
they,
best built,
they
and
were
it was built
doing
by 5 people.
they were doing the gorilla tag that is
It's a
like
very
free.
popular
Yeah,
gorilla something. It's very popular.
it's like a gorilla tag game where you run around and literally just play tag, and you're only an upper half of a monkey, and you're just like pulling yourself with your arms, and it's
There's
funny to
also
watch.
one gun something. Like there's a few that are like super popular, and Echo VR was really cool. It was a really great concept, but the company folded because I think
Oh,
Facebook bought them and then they mismanaged them into oblivion as they usually do. I hope they don't kill like the studios they've bought because yeah,
understand,
that's
understand.
that's the only tricky part.
But I mean, hey, it's a cool thing, and the boy got a Switch for the boy's going to cost me an arm and a leg. Like me and her were discussing this. Like he has expensive hobbies,
Well,
and
there's a solution for that.
he now has
Roblox and child labor.
Roblox and child labor. He's you know what I like
Get your
sitting here.
kid, get your kid to program and create games for it.
Dude, I like sitting here watching him. And, oh, he loves him some Minecraft. He's constantly building in that too. Which there's another thing. Hey Minecraft, you guys got me pretty good. I have had to now buy the game for a third time
What do you?
because
What?
because he needs it on every system, and you
My
don't.
God!
And you can link the accounts, but you can't link the game. So you guys got me again, and
It's interesting that where we're going is we will in some way achieve the idea
did you
of infinite growth, but it's all digital.
Did you hear that the CEO or whatever of Rockstar was saying that he thinks that games should be paid for by the hour? That's a scary thing, isn't it?
Don't tempt the Chinese to start.
They the he
They
because
don't want
because he
people
think
to
he
game because
thinks
it's causing social decay. Like the
even
Chinese government, because they survey their people so much, are restricting gaming hours for
even
children.
even though GTA 5 made
Seven
billions
hundred
of dollars
million dollars
like
last year.
just
Seven
last
hundred
year.
million dollars last year.
Yeah,
Last year,
last
they've
year, and
made
it's been out for 10
billions.
and it's been out for what, 10 years now, and across
Well,
three
they supposedly
platforms.
spent no more. They
Yeah.
supposedly spent 2 billion developing GTA 6. So
And
whatever they're
so
doing,
and so and so that's what he was saying, was that he's not sure if the $70 price tag is good enough, and he's talking about people should possibly be paying for games per hour because of all the hours of entertainment that it could bring. And I'm just like, there's already microtransactions. You already sold and resold copies of that game to people that had it on multiple
do
platforms.
you know why? Because there
And
is a portion like me that has
yeah,
never spent a dime inside of their system, and I've
absolutely,
used it like because I'm like
absolutely, me either.
the online. It's like I played sometimes with my friends, and if I really ever wanted to like get all the random stuff, I create a computer account and I pirate it. Like that game is so buggy. That game is a so some people think that the joke that you can hack the game and get all the money is on purpose because the game, it's like a meta of even in this game we're gonna leave the holes. We could delete your account, but
We're
we're gonna leave the holes where they can just make the money because they still haven't patched half those holes. I can for example, I can make $1 billion. I can have like $40 billion in the game, and then I can go into the account and give you money. I can go give you $10 million in game.
I think that's hilarious. Like it's it's just,
It's
but I mean,
money laundering, like
think about
real
think
money laundering, but digital money laundering.
think about how much money they did make off of GTA 5. And I mean, I imagine that if the GTA 6 is the main game for the next 10 years as well, like imagine how much money they'll make. Why there I don't think there's a reason to charge per hour.
I
They're going to make their money and some.
it's him putting that in the minds of the CCP. I'm
Yeah,
sure he was talking to the
sure.
Chinese because the
Oh,
Chinese are have a
Winnie the Pooh
distinct.
would love this. Like,
Oh, he would get his stuffy boner on like that. What was it? Pooh Bear. Ooh, ooh. That would be she. Ooh, ooh.
oh, I mean, I just they
Oh bother.
if if it is a slippery slope, a lot of the things that are going on in today's time, like to leading to being a lot like the nonsense
Here,
in China. Like, you know
a
what I mean?
souvenir
Like,
from the past. It's I saw it. I was like, that looks like such a cool shirt, and I bought it when I was 16. It's still a cool shirt. I mean, I'm gonna give the Russians, marketing wise.
I mean,
I mean, the sickle and hammer, such a good logo. I don't support the Chinese Communist Party, the Russian Communist nonsense, and or any of these parties. Just as a disclosure to the insane that may use my voice against me in the future. Even though with AI's new systems like Jim Bob, there was already a video of you potentially saying something that you didn't say.
I wouldn't doubt it. Like, and that's okay.
Didn't you say you found a parody page of yourself? Please, could we send? You haven't sent it to us. There is a parody
There,
page.
there is a well, I officially cannot get onto Facebook because they IP banned me for the second time. We're on like week 4 that I am not on Facebook. It's
Can't
okay.
you just use a
I've had a,
VPN?
you know what? I've had a great time not
Oh,
carrying
I
my
mean,
phone in my pocket, not paying attention to it, and I'll come back when I feel like it. Like, it's been all right because you know what? There's just as much doom and gloom on Facebook as there is on the regular news, and I have found that my blood pressure has been quite nice, not doom scrolling. Even compared to not watching the news like I already don't do. So it's been peaceful and I've just been enjoying it. But there is totally a parody page of me, and I'll give them a shout out. I don't care. I think it's absolutely hilarious that I've made it to parody page status. It's it's Captain Cuckspiracy and the Free Dumb, as in DUMB, pirates, and it's totally just a bunch of dudes making gay butt jokes about me, and it's totally great. Like, I think it's the best thing I've ever seen. The memes are kind of lame. I've totally been in the comment section in the past making better memes of the memes they're trying to make about myself, and I think it's absolutely hilarious that they get,
I mean,
you know,
I'd call them super fans. Whoever's actually making memes of you is a super fan and
they're
participating.
watching. They'll either be watching right now or they'll catch the audio replay the moment that I drop it because they have to keep up with every single thing
Hey,
that I do. So
let
I
let
appreciate the views and I love it.
so once we get your children to celebrity status and you are a member of the revolutionary parties against the whatever order of the future that doesn't exist yet,
Yeah.
um yeah, people will come back to these moments of like, oh look, this young general for
And his
his
nonsense.
custody and his nonsense and how he rose to prominence through memes.
I mean, it's I
You, don't you
don't know
don't you
how it
feel
gets there.
hilariously perturbed by the idea that
That
today
that
this
I'm
and in
targeted.
no, it's your Darda today, but that also is a good thing because that means you're doing something right.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but
Because think about it, you're
it
not
does get
literally saying
tiresome.
anything. I know, but think of it from this perspective. You're not saying anything bad,
No.
yet they're attacking you. Yet
Oh
a
yeah, like
million people say bad things
really bad
and
things,
nobody touches them.
and
Well,
nobody.
and then there's the hate on the internet type thing, but they don't get deplatformed.
I mean,
Some do, I
I've
guess.
always had for years I used to have page I've run a couple pages where I just took screenshots of the god awful messages I received from people in other pages that I ran that I offended, because they do not hesitate real quick to message you and get all Karen like in your messages across TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it doesn't matter. And they'll call you all kinds of cool names, and they don't like it when they find their screenshots later on another page shared for everybody to see. That totally turns into another message screenshot set as well, because
Oh.
they just go off their rocker. And it's the internet, man. Like, if it's unless it's your first day here, like, you should know better.
No, I've told people like that sometimes when they get some hate, I told them, look, this is gonna happen whether
Yes.
you accept it or not. I've gotten random hate randomly, and I'm like, firstly, it's not worth answering.
You could
Just
listen.
it's simple. It's what you do is simple. You hit if you really disliked it, just hit block.
My favorite thing.
Don't
My
even deal with it. Like there was a famous before you. There was a famous Twitter handle that this guy, Japanese guy, was notorious for anybody that spoke to him, he blocked. So his block list is like thousands. Like it's hilarious. It's like a thing. You go and talk to him, he blocks you. You
That's
talk
so
to him, he
great.
blocks you.
That's so great.
Yeah.
I mean, I've when I tell people I'm serious about free speech, I'm serious about free speech. That's why I have a problem with blocking people. There are a couple people in my life that have harassed me to the point of just being like, just shut up. Like, leave me alone. Just shut up.
I block them because there's no mute option. Twitter has a mute
True.
option, but
True.
it's the whole you don't need to enter this space if your commentary is non-constructive, even if it's
Yes.
even like there is constructive attacks or
Yes.
arguments, and then when an argument is made from a solid base,
Sure.
like I'll give you an example. I still appreciate that hilarious episode of us speaking about um, spherical or flat
Oh
planes.
my God.
It's still funny.
It's
It's
so yes, because if I would, that guy's actually probably watching or at least going to tune in on the Instagram feed that's going on
it was
tonight,
funny. It was
and he's gonna lose his shit because, oh my God, like, we're still talking about it, and it was just hilarious,
because it
bro.
was
Like,
funny. I mean,
to react that
I'm gonna
I agree,
appreciate.
to react that way is, to me, is just absolutely hilarious. Like, people have gotten mad at me like that before online, and they try to slander me and slam me and drag me, and I like just start making fun of myself. And my favorite example, I guess, and you went back and found it. I spent an entire episode with a fella by myself as a guest, and he probably called me colonizer
three, four, three,
a
four times
dozen
at least.
times, dude.
It was more. My God, I must have desensitized myself while listening to it.
And then
It's
he
stupid to do that because one you are also Native American, even though you don't look it. But I mean, you know what I
I
mean.
can
It's
prove
like
it.
to the most people,
No,
they're not gonna believe you. But
no.
they also can't understand there's Native Americans that are pretty white now. It's
Pe-
just because hundreds of years and
They
mixing of blood,
they don't
and
they don't under,
plus,
they don't understand genetics at all. Like,
no,
you,
no, no. I mean, people don't understand even the location of the earth in relationship to their exposure to the sun and how their skin operates. Like, you will get darker with time if you live in the Caribbean. It's just a fact.
yeah, yeah.
You will get darker. Your skin, your kids will be darker than
and
you are,
and
and it progressively you get darker and darker and
and the
darker.
and the more time you spend hiding in the hills and caves, the lighter you get. So, I mean, it works the same way.
What's the name of that group in the mountains that they say that's still up there that it just is in a
That
potential
one
inbred
one
clan
super inbred family, dude. Like,
that
I've
nobody interacts with?
that actually
Where is what state is that?
I think it's Virginia or West Virginia, but I actually seen that the dude that did that big story on him 20 years ago or whatever recently
Oh,
went
I
back.
want to see a I don't know much of their story, but I'd like to see like how did they
He re-
evolve? Like I want
well,
to understand their situation. What did they do to survive? Obviously, they can survive if they have enough land. But what are they doing? You know, it's 2024. Like, what is
so
your
he
process
recent
today?
I guess he recently returned to visit them again, and like did like a follow-up thing, like 20 something, like 20 years
Do you
later now or
imagine
whatever.
people like modern people that disconnected 20 years ago and just like, by the way, I can generate a video of you now. Look,
Right.
you
Right. Like,
from the video I shot of you 20 years ago. Here's a video of you talking back to yourself. Like
That's
that's the freaky shit. Somebody will be like, "What the hell did you just do?" You can do that today, and most people still don't know
but
you can
that
do that.
but that totally brings me back to
Highly
the
unethical. Don't do it. Don't do actual videos unless they're celebrities of other people. It's really screwed up to do that. Of normal people, like
oh
people that
yeah.
haven't exposed their voice or their faces, that somebody randomly makes a video of you, that is horrible.
Well,
I
but
thought about it as a joke, but it's too strong a joke.
that brings me back to what I was saying the last time we were together on here was that, to be real, doesn't that mean video evidence is kind of null and void now? Like if you can recreate me, like doesn't that make video evidence look like a bad situation for proceedings and such?
So we are at the cusp of the breaking of reality. I've said this
Yes.
for a while, but we are really already here. It's more of like when everybody else starts to realize that okay, let's look at where we get to AGI. Let's look at it like there's multiple walls, like there's barriers. Imagine it's
Okay.
like just a stack of barriers. And every time we're just piercing through an additional barrier. And once we get to the last one where there's AGI, potentially it's the concept of Terminator, the concept of a system smart enough to improve itself
All right.
progressively, quickly, and effectively. So once we achieve that, then we're
Ultron.
entering.
Ultron is born, and he decides within the first 30 minutes that humanity needs to end.
No, firstly, all right, you can. If I've spoken to two guys on this, and it was very interesting that actually know about this, and they've all said this. Nah,
Nah, you
nah.
don't think so?
No. Like I don't think so. They don't think so, and they gave me really great arguments as very smart people that understand the space pretty well. I'm going to talk to him again to at least hear his point of view as it's as modernized. There's been a lot of improvements very fast, very quickly to the point of ridiculous speed. I mean, I've shown you. We can show it here, but with the filters on of Civit AI. Turn on all the filters and you can show it, but it's ridiculous. How
Yeah.
like ridiculous, like you can make a picture of you. You should even try.
I'm surprised you haven't made a picture of me just to send to the group chat to prove it.
All right. I'll have to. The question is actually if you can give me a good reference image because it's for you. So I just need a good reference picture and I can have you in a if you like you want a bikini with big kadunkas and the beard.
No, no, I don't know why everybody always goes there.
I know
I
because it's the weirdest one I can do.
and
All
now
right.
that yeah, I mean that's super weird too, I guess. But like, I don't.
Captain, but in space.
Okay.
Like a space cat pirate, but in
Yes,
space.
absolutely. Yeah, a space pirate. That's a
All
good way
right,
to
so
roll.
I'll try that with your face on it. I'm gonna try it with stable diffusion.
I have
Um,
I have headshots of the entire crew.
you do,
I
yes.
do. I totally have headshots of the entire crew, so it's
So
totally a
once I
possible thing.
figure out how to put two people in the shot, that'll be great. Until then, but because I know I could do with one subject, the crew's having too much fun. Did you add your couch to the Oculus Space? You can add your couch and your table.
Dude, I was walking around with that thing, checking it out, and like, because I had to do all the setup stuff, and that thing was just blowing my mind. Like,
Dude, and that and people and like if you wear the good gear, that's like that's for the poors. Like we're the poors, but
yes,
that's literally for the poors. There's $7,000 headsets that will truly. So to people that have played with those, they say no, VR's here. The problem is it's just too expensive, but they're like no, 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 VR's here. Get a $5,000 computer and a $5,000 headset, and your mind will be blown because you will think you're in the cyberpunk world.
I know a young fella. He's a friend of mine's son. He's really into the VR gaming, and he has the whole harness set up where he like is floating in the air.
Oh, cool.
Can
Oh
move
no,
all the
he's
way around
invested
in
a
his bot.
lot
Yeah,
into
he's
this.
invested a lot. Like, and he's got
But
a
he's
ridiculous computer with
but
it
he
too.
he's
But
making
like,
money, I imagine, at that point,
I
potentially.
yeah, dude, he went to like Sweden or something last summer just to go. So I know he's making
Play
money because
oh,
he
so
doesn't
he's
have a
oh, that's cool.
because like I got him his first legit job actually when he was like 16, 17 years old. I got him a dishwashing job in the back of a kitchen I was working in, and
But
he
now
la-
he's doing
he la-
VR.
he lasted a short time. It just wasn't for him. He wasn't cut out for it. And then I seen his setup, and they were like, "Oh yeah, dude, he sits down here in games like all night long." I was like, "Oh," I was like, "So he's
So
probably
what is he
making ridiculous money."
so no, you didn't find out where he streams or anything?
I did not. I didn't ask. Like it.
But isn't it fascinating? There is universes around you of experiences, memories, and now new sides of just the media landscape.
Well,
And you have
that's
no
yeah.
awareness of it.
Oh yeah.
You have
Like
you
well,
have no awareness, a whole new universe. Have you explored the internet without the algorithms on? Like just turn on incognito mode.
yeah.
Just use VPN so you can see what from the other country's perspective. So you can turn on a VPN, go to Japan, then go to YouTube, then go to YouTube in Korea,
Oh
then go
yeah.
to YouTube in Australia,
Oh dude,
then go to YouTube in Ethiopia, and you're gonna be
YouTube
like, oh,
YouTube and Russia has always been one of my favorites. Like those folks are
just
wild, bro.
incognito in Russia.
Yeah, like they're those folks in Russia, man. They're off the chain. Like their YouTube channels are top tier, good laughing videos. If you want something funny to laugh at.
Remember FPS Russia, who wasn't Russian but a guy from Georgia, and
Yeah,
how
I
one of
know
the
him.
bosses was beheaded?
The FPS. Okay, so
Wait,
the guy,
yeah, something about you.
one of the guys he used to hang out with, his and was in a lot of the videos with him. His name was Rafael Gonzalez, and he runs Moss Pawn in Clayton County, Georgia. And he was connected to me through a buddy of mine that's in the Philippines now. And Rafael Gonzalez is off the chain so much he actually his drunk rants grew him to actually be somebody that totally did get blocked on my social media because his 3 o'clock in the morning drunk off his rocker stuff was just too much for me. But he used to work with this dude hand in hand. He used to help him do his videos. He used to be a part of all that thing. And like, he still swears up and down that he didn't have things to do with that. But it was totally, I remember when all that happened and come down and I was like, oh my God. Like,
I mean, it was one person was beheaded, then money
yeah,
was a lot of money was moved,
uh,
millions of dollars was moved.
moved. Yes.
So I knew when I saw that channel, I knew that somebody with a hell of a lot of money was financing that. Like, there's another one called Shotgun Ranch, which is not bad actually. If you've never seen it, by the way, I don't get a single recommendation from that channel anymore. They have been completely destroyed. Because if I'm not getting it, probably a lot of people not getting it. But it's a good channel that just teaches about ballistics, different types of machines, and he does a pretty decent job. It's entertaining. It's like, oh, okay, now I understand what that type of caliber does. Okay, now I understand how this weapon operates.
Okay.
It's pretty educational. You never seen it? Shotgun
I,
Ranch.
it sounds familiar. I follow a couple educational channels like that myself, like on YouTube. I don't know
Yeah,
their
he's
names off
genuinely
the top of my head.
not like trying to do anything stupid. Like I don't know what like people that don't know about guns think gun channels look like, but it's basically a bunch
People
of
trying to,
professionals making very boring things look somewhat interesting.
yes. Yeah. Oh,
Even
absolutely.
though guns are entertaining mostly because it's the ballistics element alone is entertaining for people.
I mean, yeah. Well, you can't have it sitting around being dry all the time. You do have to take it and fire it and make sure everything's still in
Hmm.
So like, yeah, it's
But he
absolutely fun.
also loves to fire things with a 50 cal.
Oh yeah, listen, it's absolutely fun to take every one of them that you
How
got.
much is a 50 cal round? Like
Now it's
$25?
probably like 20. Yeah, about to say it's probably like $25, $30
Because I
right
remember
now.
he said something that's like $5, $7 before in
Mm.
the past.
But like yeah, and it's
Maybe
getting
I'm wrong.
expensive. It's getting expensive and hard. Unless you can press your own, then it's a little cheaper. But it's still
Can't
good
but
to just
to. Do people press high caliber like that, or usually it's like the lower
No,
calibers?
like it.
People press 50 cal.
I've seen
Can
it
you
done.
can you press? I mean, imagine somebody
I've
could,
seen
but
it
with a lot
done,
with a
but
big ass press.
yeah, like it's not common. Like I know shotguns on a common. Most of your pistol rounds, your average
The
pistol
shotguns
round.
are easy. They're literally plastic.
I know folks that redo like repress like little 22 rimfires and stuff so that they can target shoot and stuff like that. So it it's a plausible thing. It's a reality. I mean, at one point in time, that's the only way you got ammo was repressing it yourself. That's why folks save so much brass. So but I don't know. It's still good to go take them out every now and then. Take all of them and take the kids so that you can properly train them. Like I've had my kids shooting since they were able to hold it because I want them to be able to know what they're doing and stuff like that. So
I mean, every kid should learn how to operate heavy
yeah,
machinery
yeah,
and weapons for two
yes,
distinct reasons. One, it this is the real world, not the fictional bubble universe.
correct.
Forever the situation be, if you are in the presence of the weapon, if you don't want to use it, perfectly
Still,
fine.
you should
You
still
can
know
grab
about it.
it and disarm it.
Yeah, you should still know about it. So exactly,
Yeah,
so
you should still know about it. So when you hold it, you put the safety on.
that's right.
That's it.
That's right.
Oh,
No,
I
you're
don't want
you're
to touch
completely
it.
correct.
Okay, you hold it. You don't hold it like this. You hold it, like you don't do like giving it to somebody like this, like
I've
that, like
done,
in.
we've done all the like this a lot of the safety type stuff. We've done bow and arrow work.
Oh, bow and arrows are so fun.
They are, and we I need them to know how to do that kind of stuff anyway. It's to me, it's like part of life. Like these are important things that you need to know how to do. I don't know. I'm weird. You can't take things from me. That's for sure. Like, but I think it works out pretty well, and it's good for them to know how to do it, know how to take them apart, know how to clean them. Like they may struggle in some other things, but hey, at least I know they got skills to survive. So
I mean, we're gonna. It's that they're generally not going to see any conflict statistically if everything goes well in the next few years. So I'm somewhat optimistic that things are going to rotate in the right
I,
direction.
speaking of things rotating in weird directions, have you seen all over the news today about the potential list being released?
Oh, you mean the list we've had forever, and John's been reading nonstop until he gets banned from TikTok?
Correct.
There's so many people. And John's
So
become an expert because the guy's literally just sat down and read it because
and
it's so
just
many. It's 198 pages, and then there's a 2,000 page version. I have both. Um, I didn't want to read through it. I just skimmed through it. I just searched for certain words, and then somebody made an Excel sheet. So you just read the Excel sheet off.
mhm.
I love the person, by the way, whoever made this Excel sheet. Thank you. The Ghislaine, the Maxwell list is available and easy to access in an Excel format. You don't need to read the scribble of the pilot. Damn, it was bad.
It's ridiculous to see how much nonsense is
At
just
least people are becoming aware that Clinton went there 26 times and potentially it was more.
how what it, twenty
So
six
remember,
times you say.
there's there's what was it? There is people names changed, I think, in the logs. So I don't think it's
Yeah,
all perfect. So those logs are manipulated to a degree
100%, 100%.
because when they put it to, so the sketchiest one is when they went to Rwanda and then they went to Epstein's Island. I'm like, that's that's all I have to say. What was happening in Rwanda at the time period? Well, they just exited a genocide. What do
Nothing to
you
see
think
here,
that
boys and
people do?
girls. Yeah,
My
like
God. Are people this
oh
naive
boy.
to not like the good thing is maybe for the first time in a long time they're going to start canceling the people that should have been canceled
Yes, yes,
because there's people
100%.
that deserve to be canceled, those that directly damage society with their pure evil.
Yes, yeah. Oh, they're listen. I'm I'm not the violent type. I don't, it's just by choice, I guess. But there are a ton of people out there that deserve to just not. I don't know. They deserve to be in places under the prison or under the ground, or and not in a pleasant way. Like, because there's some
Oh,
just
there's that new
have
potential
yeah.
VR tech that it was. I think it's a fake headline of like the scientists figure out how to make a prison last 8 years in 30 minutes, and then the meme on top of, oh look, modern horrors. What is it? What is the phrase about humanity?
Uh, horrors, modern horrors beyond human
Beyond,
comprehension.
yeah. But there was a movie about it. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, where the woman puts on eye drops. She's like, I think she's working in the tech, and they make a version that lasts for years, and it's a prison, and there she's accidentally dosed the prison, or potentially it was an experiment to see how she would react because it's only 30 minutes, but it's like many years in her mind. And there was,
Interesting.
and the exit was not badly programmed, so she couldn't actually get out because she was a dev, I think.
you, I guess talking about prison kind of things or whatever, there was a couple things this week that I had seen in the news that were kind of
That they're
interesting.
fighting, they're actually fighting to actually repeal slavery from the Constitution. Do you think they're going to go that far of actually removing slavery from the Constitution?
I don't know.
Because
That's that.
slavery is legal
Yes, as long as it's done by the state.
as long as what
That
is
that
what's the
that's
phrase
got me in
for it?
trouble. That's got
Oh,
me.
that was the reason.
There's yeah, there's there's totally a
Oh,
phrase for it,
yeah,
and
go
I
ahead. I don't
can't
know,
I
Susan.
can't remember what the exact word for it was, but it is totally something that's gotten me deleted once or twice. But I was actually referring to they made a movie about her and stuff like that. But that one young girl, that Gypsy Rose, that was basically experimented on by her mother, and she ended up killing her. She's actually being released from prison early, and like I mean it's one of
Yeah,
those
come on.
it's one of those cases that you're it's it was a super questionable kind of thing that had happened to begin with. They made a whole movie about it. This kid, her mom convinced her she had all of these medical issues, and she was giving her like dog medicine or something that was actually paralyzing her, and she had a ton of surgeries and stuff like that.
All right,
And
stop. It's too
I'm
evil. All
I'm
right,
dead
stop.
serious. I'm
I
dead
know.
serious.
Just it's okay.
But like
It's
it
those are,
she's
yes,
being
yes, those are
she's
the
being
human
released.
man-made horrors by other humans.
She's being released from prison because she finally, when she figured it all out, and she figured out what her mother was doing to her. She killed her mother, and she went to jail for murder.
But
But like,
it's technically self-defense.
it's
So why
exactly, they fought on the
did
fact
they
that
just
she's
did they just
it's
give her a few months? Hopefully, not a few
and
years.
after 7 years,
What
she's
state
finally
is this? What
uh
backward state gives us 7 years for eliminating the problem?
crap. I'm not sure off the top of my head about.
I
Let's.
mean,
I gotta pull it up. I had some stuff pulled up, but not that up.
so
Let's see. It,
I'll
it,
let
it,
her.
yeah, she was. I know she was in there. She was in there for 7 years. She was supposed to do. Uh, she was supposed to do a bunch of stuff, but over the past 18 months, she had been doing like interviews on like TV and stuff like that, and I guess her thing got re-looked at even after an interview with Dr. Phil and stuff like that. And that
You know how
she was
ridiculous is that she needs to you need to get media attention in the 21st century in
she
order
was
to get justice to actually be executed?
she was sentenced to 10 years in prison in 2016 after she pleaded guilty.
What state again?
Missouri.
Missouri.
And
Oh, that
and
everything makes sense now.
and so she, on December 28th, she was released on parole after doing 85% of her thing, but she, like she had to fight and do the whole good behavior, and our broken system, like our broken ass
So
system, makes
so
people take turns people that are victims into
were you the
criminals.
one that said that, or it was somebody I was talking to that was inside, and he told me about what are the economics of the system in, I think, in Georgia, actually, particularly, or North Carolina, where essentially they're double paying for the
Yeah,
prisoners. They're
yeah,
double paying.
yeah, yeah,
What? So
dude.
basically each prisoner's 80K, 60
Yes,
to 80K per
yes,
prisoner.
dude, and we have
You know they're stealing all that money.
we we have some really we have a bunch of podunk little jails that are stealing a bunch of money, but we also have a bunch of
Bro, it is
big private prisons and big state prisons that are death traps
the economics of
that
how
even the
easy
president
it is.
refused to be in because he didn't want to die.
When
Like,
you
that
do the
was a
math
joke.
of how cheap it is to maintain those people, you are horrified.
Well, Bob Barker's got to make all that money, bro.
Yep. Well, wait, Bob Barker's kids, I guess,
I
and
mean,
his
yeah.
grandkids.
I
Didn't
mean,
he
but
die?
I
Yeah.
believe so. But
Yeah, yeah, that's the guy that died, and then John said even everybody was feeling the Mandela effect on him because they thought he had died already.
yeah, but like he's got all that prison money from all them deals that he's got from Bob Barker products inside of jail. So
Can you
it,
believe that?
it
Can you freaking believe
yes,
that? Bob
yes,
Barker, the man
yes.
that says spay and neuter your pets because he doesn't want to see your scummy dogs in the street because he was like that guy.
I see. I'm controversial in that opinion too because everybody's like, oh, it's for their health, and I'm just like,
No, I was. He didn't want to see your scummy dogs in the street.
where's your where's your my
Like
where's your my
that's a joke. It's like no, it was the dark version. He was
where's
the
your he was
darkness.
he was super dark.
If you are
Like,
making, he showed me. So the prisoner showed me the pricing of the prison food. They're making
dude,
like the equivalent of a supermarket's profit margins out of prisoners.
so
But I'm talking about in the sense that the population's tiny, but they're making supermarket money out of each
yes,
prison,
yes.
even though there's not that many, because the margins are
That
10, 15x in some
that's
things. There are some
that,
things that are 5 times, but the average is 5x.
that's why
5x the
our
price.
that's why our that's why Georgia's prisons are slam full. They're all work prisons, and like when you talk about
You
like the
told me it's
food,
legal. It's essentially also legal in Georgia.
you talk about like the food and stuff like that. Not only do a lot of them work on many commercial farms for little to no money, but a lot of them like also work on the side of the road and stuff like that. And like my buddy that I worked with for so long, he was gone for a few years, and he was literally a road detail dude. Like, that's literally what he did every day, was got up and laid pavement in the southern towns of Georgia in the middle of nowhere. Like, he was the guy who helped run the machine and rake the pavement and stuff like that. Like, it's not uncommon to see. And I know for a fact, like, even though they have all this budget and money for food and stuff like that, like, it's not uncommon for many of these counties to have, when animal control goes to clean up the roadkill on the side of the road, that if there's any savable meat, it totally goes to the prison. Like, it it I don't know, man. Our the prisons down in Georgia are really backwards and screwed up, and it used to be the good old boys that you needed to worry about in the backwoods with the issues, but now it has grown to the police state with the mixture of the good old boys. It's so it has gotten so bad in the state of Georgia as far as the police state wise and the way police are. We've gone to from a bunch of podunk towns with 2 and 3 cops, and now even that podunk town, even though it's still the same podunk town, has 10 cops, and they have a whole ass SWAT team, and they're
Brought to you by the Obama administration.
they're liter and Trump. He did too.
Yes,
He gave him a bunch of surplus military stuff. So now we've got
no. Obama was doing the same thing. So he just continued the
he.
nonsense that he was doing.
So now we've got a bunch of podunk police sheriffs with tanks, literal tanks. There's a town not far from here that has a tank that they have driven into a couple houses already.
This is the reason. What?
Yes.
Okay, but there's video, right?
I might be able to find video of the senator that
Of
they
the
drove in
police
of
running over a house.
of the
I'm like, I
police
have to
of,
see that.
of the police driving the tank into a senator's house because he was holding his wife hostage with a handgun.
Police. Okay, why is this not national
It happened, dude.
news?
This happened. I was still working for Nissan when this happened, so this was pre-COVID, and it was right in the
The
neighborhood.
police
It was
drove a
it was right
tank
it
into
was
the
right in
senator's
it
house.
it was right in the neighborhood behind me, where I worked. There was a
I
senator
feel like I've been living in a whole different dimension.
that
How has
had
nobody told me this insane
that
story?
went off. This dude went off his rocker, and they were worried about him or something. Did some kind of wellness check, and he was held up in the house with a gun. Wouldn't let his wife leave. They tried to talk him out of it. It wouldn't work. So they ended up showing up with the tank that they have, thanks to the government, and they drove the tank into his front of his house to get
Bro,
him out.
what? Senate went into shelter place, partial evacuation possible. Nah, dang it. I can't
It
find a
it
story.
happened. It happened in Griffin, Georgia. Uh,
Griffin, Georgia.
Yeah, they drove. I'm trying to look for it too, real quick. Like I remember when uh it was Spalding County with the tank. Spalding County,
Spalding.
yeah,
Spalding or
Spalding.
Griffin?
It was the Spalding County Sheriff's Department that did the tank. Tank to
Might have found it.
maybe, and
You
then
told
like I
me it's from the early no, this is from 2023.
no, yeah, no,
It's
this
it's
was.
an active shooter from a few months ago.
I'm trying to find it because I remember
Yes.
there was just another one a couple days ago where
You
they.
saw well, yeah, literally
Yeah,
Griffin, Georgia. It was literally a
yeah,
few days ago. Well,
yeah,
like it was 6 days ago. There was an
yeah,
active shooter. Mm.
yeah.
You
That
saw
one.
there was one in Florida.
So that one, he showed up about a domestic thing, and dude was like, You don't need to be here." And next thing I heard is that he got shot, and then it turned into the whole ass thing. And I'm pretty sure they busted out the tank for that again. Like
Have we become desensitized?
maybe, like quite possibly,
Because
because.
it's a mix of it's common and you expect it, but it's not. But it's everywhere. It's not here alone. It's everywhere. But it's everywhere where there's imbalance.
Yes.
Notice there is only poverty of the mind when imbalance is excessive. When the system dictates order to consumption and just like look at Singapore's model, flat tax on everything. Most beautiful thing you could do. Flat tax on everything. There's only one tax, sales tax, and like a flat like tax like on certain thing. I think it's like Singapore's model is actually extremely simple, but I just don't know the finesse of it completely. But it's way better than what we have, and it makes sense. It's a consumption model. The more you consume, that's how you're taxed.
Bro, I know this is kind of off subject and random, but I totally have a picture of the tank that they have.
Show me. But where is the situation? There has to be pictures from the press. Oh yeah, those are. They have a term. They're not tanks.
That's a tank, bro. I don't care.
They
That's a
are
tank.
they are special operations vehicles that hold generally
Why
like
do
a few
what
inside.
what what do they need? What do they need that for?
They 100% don't. Um, They need an armored SUV. How I've seen before. That's fine. A regular armored SUV is just fine. They're never going to fight anyone with enough of a caliber unless we're talking actually fighting cartels. They're not going to find people with 50 cals. Yeah, it could kind of survive a 50 cal, but also it survives like almost any caliber. That's why I guess they just want to feel safe, and but the maintenance on these machines is outrageous compared to a car. So you're also destroying their budgets by giving them more equipment that they need because they need to maintain it. So that's my argument against it. It's actually purely economical. It's more expensive than just giving them an armored vehicle and cheaper. Like an armored
Well,
vehicle could be $500,000, while like those things cost millions and millions of dollars, like
well,
20 million.
well, Obama and Trump said it was okay for them to have those, so that's where their budget's going. That and new cars and more weapons to use against civilians because we have. I mean, I know they're not the most aggressive, but God, do we have some super aggressive police for no reason?
We have one of the most aggressive police forces on the planet. Not the worst, but we're in the top 10.
Yeah, we're in the top 10. I know that. I know that, but I'm
We're
saying
not
they're
we're not the worst. There's countries that will literally beat the hell out of you and kill you.
absolutely. And I mean,
Legit.
I know they'll do the same thing here too. No lie. Like I'm not even
No, the
trying to
same.
deny it
Dude, the amount of Latinos that have been killed by the police in the
for
United
no reason.
States
Yeah.
is higher than the other group that complains.
That everybody points at and saying, yeah, yeah, no, I understand exactly
There,
what
there,
you're saying.
there was one video, like in total numbers. I
Yeah,
know if you do the math, it feels different, but numbers are numbers, and total numbers matter. Because
hundred
yeah,
percent.
there was one video of the cops legitimately killing somebody, recording it, and nothing happened just because he was homeless. It doesn't give him the right to just murder somebody for literally no reason,
No,
which is what
it
happened
doesn't.
in that video. Or remember the guy that was crawling back? They didn't do anything to the cop. They didn't do anything to the cop, and he just flat out murdered him, and he was crawling back. He had a BB gun in his hand. No, did he even have a weapon? I don't remember. I think it was a BB gun. It was like
Well, I mean,
it was the stupidest thing.
you guys can't even have those gel blast shooters that they have.
I
You
don't
know,
even know what those things are exactly. You mentioned it
okay,
before. It's like, what are those gel launch? What?
so
Show me. Instruct
they're
me visually.
they are like they shoot little gel beads basically.
But show me how it looks,
I'm looking
please.
for one, and
Internet
okay,
gods, show me like the book of knowledge. Show me what the heck is a gel shooter?
I don't even think that's the real name for them. They have a gel blaster.
Still don't know.
All
It's
right,
like
so
this whole mystery.
I'm pulling up a whole thing of a whole bunch of different ones of them, and they shoot these little things that you dip in water, or you get them wet, and they kind of explode, but not really. It's an alternative to like paintball that's not as messy, and this is how these things
Okay.
look. These how these look, but because they actually shoot a projectile, which is the little. I'll pull up this one real quick because
But
it'll.
dude, there's airsoft. You're
Yeah,
telling me airsoft is banned now?
yeah. They're supposed to be these little gel things right here. These little Orbeez. That's basically what they shoot is Orbeez. Do you know what an Orbeez is?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Okay, that's basically what they do is they shoot Orbeez. And because it actually shoots a projectile, it's banned in New York City.
Just well, because you could weaponize it into a biological weapon. I can argue. I mean, you can weaponize anything, but
I
you can
mean,
definitely weaponize each one of those caplets has like a particular virus.
do
Every
you
time you shoot it at somebody, you're exposing them.
do you
Obviously,
know do you know
it's
what a
just my creative, simple head. I imagine somebody
I
that
am
wants to do nefarious
I
things
am
can
not
do it in a blink of an
I
eye.
am
I'm
I
not
am
giving anybody ideas.
I'm not I too am not giving anybody ideas, but like when you get into that what if realm, my
But it's
favorite.
it's actually very simple. I mean, also ricin evidently is actually relatively simple to use.
Do you know what Drano, aluminum foil, and gasoline does?
No clue.
Again, I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything, but we used to have a lot of fun as teenagers pouring a little bit of Drano into a 2 liter bottle, dropping a couple of aluminum foil balls down into it. Then you poured just about a half a cup of gas on it, shake and throw. And oh boy, was it fun to watch blow up.
How far were you fuckers throwing it?
Not far enough half the time.
You, this is the issue. Is like sounds fun, but I'm like, wait, you have to launch that to make sure it doesn't blow your
Shrapnel,
hands up.
plastic shrapnel everywhere. But
You didn't get hit. You
with the,
never got hit.
I've been hit by a couple lids, a couple Coke bottle
No, but I
lids.
mean like cut, like full cut.
Nah, nothing major. I,
But you got a small ding from the plastic.
yeah, man, I've had a lid or two come back and hit me, but I've had that happen. I've had that happen with tannerite too, blowing up refrigerators. Like pieces of that come back at me too. So
Of course, you blew up refrigerators. The Jim Bob show would be the most entertaining reality show you could watch half the time. He just needs to generate
I
half an hour of powerful entertainment per
I
week. He could
I
entertain you for
almost
weeks.
I listen.
You need a show. You would
I,
just
w-
have a show. That's it.
I was approached by this was long before any of this happened, but I was approached by the folks that created like Wife Swap or whatever. They were going to do some kind of cosplay show, and this was back when I had a regular Facebook, and I was in talks with them and everything, and I'd actually talked to a few people on the phone and stuff like that. But then like when I lost my actual cosplay business page and stuff like that, I lost a whole bunch of stuff. And then COVID happened and all of that went away. And it was just like, well, damn, I guess I don't have any of that anymore. And
You
it
can
never
build
happened.
what you can
So
build it back up. What do you
hmm, eventually, I keep saying eventually.
cosplay is coming cosplay is coming back. I know through the pandemic you lost the mojo from it but it's coming back stronger than ever. What are you talking about?
I know I'm going
It's
to a
like
con.
exploding.
I'm taking my children to their first con ever in February.
I've been to them. I just haven't ever dressed up for them.
Do you think I can
Even
get
though,
myself? Do you think I can get myself banned
why
if
would you want to?
if I show up as the person that Alec Baldwin killed and pay for a picture with Alec Baldwin?
I don't. I don't think it's good. One, because I think their identity is not revealed. So how do
Yes, it
you
is.
even?
Yes, it is.
Well,
They.
it's revealed, but it's not like spoken about much because it's not. Well, like I've rarely heard their
I know it.
name.
I know it's not spoken about much, but like you can pull up who it is immediately,
Yeah, but if the
and
family wouldn't, I don't know if the family would. That's it. Like that's an innocent person, not like. So yeah, it's kind of a weird troll.
yes, okay, but the troll is not for the innocent
It's
person.
against both.
The
Yeah, but
troll is for the person that he killed and got away with killing.
mm, yeah.
Like he murdered somebody, and now he's on a con circuit to go charge people $150 to take a picture with them.
Are you serious?
I'm dead ass serious.
Oh, if you go then and create a video, it's like, oh, I'm the spirit of the person you killed.
Like
Man, that would be like that would end the show right there. You
I'd
would do it
probably
like
get
so
banned. I'd
then
probably get banned.
you get but you have evidence.
But I have evidence, and it would be totally worth it. Like,
It'd be 100% worth it. Okay, now you can plan
see,
it out.
this was just a thought I had because, like, what the hell, man?
Now you have to do it. Okay, we all have to help you get into the con so you could go straight up to Alec Baldwin with a beautiful microphone and say it straight to his fucking face and his eyes. You murdered somebody and you're enjoying life. When you were a little child and didn't properly just work with the gun, you garbage human.
Yeah, dude. Like, that's just I don't know,
I'm just
man.
gonna aim a real gun at a person in the set and press the button.
Yep.
That's the first thing they tell you is never point the gun at anybody, even if it can't fire anything, because the
Did,
shrapnel alone
did
can hurt you.
did we not learn this lesson with like Brendan Lee and such? Like,
Wasn't Brandon Lee legitimate? No, no. Didn't they actually put a bullet in there? But still,
Yeah, somebody murdered him, bro. Like,
somebody straight up murder him.
yeah, just like somebody, just like Alec Baldwin straight up murdered somebody else because
Hmm.
apparently in Hollywood it's okay to murder people and move on about your life. Just like I read today, this is kind of off the wall and kind of hilarious actually. This is a legit uh this is how much of a clown world we live in.
Keep
This is
talking. I'm just gonna be right back.
this is
I'm
a
just gonna. I can
yeah, go
hear
ahead.
you.
This is a legit story that has been released today in the news. I found it when I was thumbing around for some other things, but it's set. This is from HuffPost, by the way, so of course everybody gets a good laugh. But it says Biden could kill Donald Trump and not be prosecuted under Trump's own legal theory, and it goes on to talk about how Trump has this idea of presidential immunity, and the HuffPost went to take it as far as saying, "Oh, so you're saying that Biden could just kill somebody and he should be allowed to get away with it?" Like what kind of clown world is this that we have to continue with these far fetched ideas that are just absolutely redonkulous? Like you can't tell me out there, all y'all folks watching and stuff, and folks that'll be listening here on the replay of it later, but like you can't tell me that these folks that are writing the articles and stuff nowadays are legitimate journalists. Like they seriously
I
have
mean, they're not journalists. They're just paid propagandists of the establishment. I spoke to somebody that came from money, not too much money, but some money,
enough
and
money.
enough money, and went to journalism school, and I then see try to probe journalists because I've met a few journalists. I probe them because I'm like,
Yeah,
let me see if you're real.
yeah.
Most of them are garbage. I've spoken to a few of them. They comprehend reality enough
Well, we
to,
we talked to
but
that
most
guy.
don't.
We
Don't
talked
most
to
don't.
we talked to that one fella all that time ago that was a legit journalist, and he even said on the show that journalism's been dead because the internet just lets people type whatever they want.
When it sucks because like I've spoken even to people that study economics and I stump them on like 100 things. I then speak to journalists and I stump them on 100 things, and I'm just like,
You seem to
these
have
are
the ability to
people.
persuade
These
people.
are people that have degrees. How am I outsmarting them in like all those directions? Like, how bad was their education? Like, seriously, there's people that can like boom on like, oh, look at these Excel sheets and I can do this. I'm like, good for you. I'm very proud of you. What matters is this
The
weird idea of what is real, what can you do, and what you
the
can't do.
the
And people
the
are afraid of taxes to a degree that would surprise you.
I blame the public school system because it has people believing that they only need one specific skill to succeed in life
Not taxes.
instead of playing around with a
Do
little
you,
bit of
do you
everything and taxes,
understand?
of course.
I
Yeah.
had one tax class. It was a rich neighbor of the school that for free taught the class. Best class I had
Okay.
was the guy that literally charged nothing for the in the school. Like he was
What'd you,
a
what'd you
legit
learn?
person. Huh? Mm. Taxes and how garbage the Puerto Rico school public school system is, because every so we like my school had a cost, and thankfully I was able to cover it. But he explained how you're getting this education, which is pretty much the third best school in Puerto Rico. The public school system gets exactly the same amount of money. So what are they doing? Like he was kind of like grilling. Like I love that part of was just like, look at the absolute shit show our system has. That your school system's paying the same. Do you know how much they pay per student in New York City? 18 to $23,000.
Wow.
Okay, let's go on to the low number. $18,000 per student. All right. $18,000 per student. Are you telling me you can't pay teachers who are doing the 90% of the work? Um, Basically, they're the babysitters, the glorified babysitters, right?
Yeah, I mean
You
nowadays,
could pay
true.
them $100,000, and you know how many more people will get motivated to do their job?
Yeah, 100%.
Legit. So this is the thing: legit smart people, the only reason they don't teach, they would love to teach, they don't teach is
I,
because
s-
just there's no money.
I
There's no
spoke.
money. You would have the best teachers in certain countries. Like I think in Norway they pay over 300, like over 100,000. Like there's a many European countries. They're like, we're gonna pay our teachers really well.
I was speaking to a fellow today actually when I was installing his cooktop, and we somehow got on the subject of the county that he happens to live in having the highest profit margin of any county in the entire state,
Which one?
Spalding County. And
So
and
Hong Kong is the average, is the highest average. It's $7,400 a month.
and we got to talking about, why they had such a high profit margin as a state body, as a state object.
Who is there a super rich person, super rich like collective inside of that county that's just paying a lot in special taxes?
I mean, listen, there's a bunch of freaky.
Or actually send me the data
There's
because I was
there's a
reading it and it's not that hard to read.
there's a
Uh,
pla- there's a place there that they have weird, um like Jeffrey Epstein style parties at, where everybody wears the
Dude,
weird
just please
masks.
send me that. See if I
Doc
can read
Hol-
it.
Doc Holliday was born and raised there and is actually truly buried there, not in Denver, Colorado. Um,
What's I forgot what was Doc Holliday's like claimed. I know the
the
name.
he was he was a dentist in the OK Corral shootout. He was friends with Wyatt Earp.
Nope,
Like,
blank. I remember I wasn't raised here, so there's
that's
certain
right. I
things.
forget. You should totally watch Bandits.
There
Abs-
are
You
things
should
that I
totally
know
watch Bandits.
Americans have seen that I'm like, I have never seen
Even
any of
though
the things you
even
just
even
said.
even though it's not 100% accurate, you should totally watch Bandit's favorite movie about this subject called Tombstone,
Is it?
and you can get a general idea of the story of Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp, because it is
But
it is a true story.
so at the end of the day, we have the Epstein list coming out, and some
Yes,
people finally being revealed. That's the scum they are, even though we've been
yes,
knowing it for 2 years.
a
No, a
hundred
year and a
percent.
half. A
More
year
than
and a
that,
half.
bro. More than that.
It's been
It's been a
almost
minute.
2 years. You're right.
Yeah.
He was murdered 2021 or 2020 in the jail in October.
And then everybody got locked away because we made Epstein didn't kill himself a trending thing across the board on social
Bro,
media.
I loved it. It was such a happy thing
I,
to
I
witness it. I'm
worked
like,
I
wait, is
worked my
everybody
ass off.
finally? I I
I worked
I
my
just
ass off
thought
for memes during that time, man. Like
I just
just
thought,
pumping them out.
but I just thought that moment. It's like, look, it's
We're coming
possible.
together.
Everybody, yeah, for 10 seconds, and then everybody didn't
Now we're
question it.
Yeah. Then it just stopped. But I mean, the list is a step in the right direction. Maybe if people start paying attention to like our buddy John and people like us and anybody else who's willing to talk about the list, listen to it. Listen to the names they're reading off. It might turn your stomach, but it's worth you knowing. Like,
I mean, it's everybody essentially.
it's 100% everybody.
Did you
It's
see
every.
Jimmy
It's
Kimmel was reacting to somebody when Jimmy Kimmel's on the
He's
list?
threatening to sue Aaron
You're on the
Rodgers.
list. What the what?
Yep. He
What's
said,
what? You're on the list.
I
Like,
actually had that in my notes tonight. That's funny that you brought that up because
because
he
it was stupid when I heard it. Like, wait, okay,
he said
he said he's gonna sue you.
he's going to sue Aaron Rodgers because Aaron Rodgers made a joke alluding to
Uh,
the fact that Jimmy Kimmel was on the list. And then you've got that one other that fighter dude that's been like release the list or whatever constantly, and he's even got
Oh,
a.
wasn't he the one that just grabbed insulted Jimmy Kimmel about being a kid diddler and then said about release the list? I
Yep.
love that guy. That
Yep.
was so good. I love
Yes.
two. I appreciate those two guys. That's him and the other guy.
The guy that was
There's
calling
two.
out Jimmy Kimmel, the Aaron Rodgers, he's the
There's
football player,
two,
ain't he?
but there's two. No, there's two MMA fighters.
Oh,
That
okay, I
and
got you.
you mentioned one that also was MMA. I think they
Yeah.
were both MMA. The ones that said about the list and Jimmy Kimmel.
And you want to know once again, my page that I made, Release the List, is somehow still on Facebook, even though it has nobody controlling it. It's just
I could
there.
try to control it. Let me see how I
You
can
can try to control it. Go for it.
go.
Like,
Okay, so well, okay, so I told you that Captain Conspiracy shows up when I
does
right.
it?
Let me see. We'll try again. How is it called?
Mine,
The
Captain Conspiracy and the Freedom Pirates, and Defeat the Media. Those were my two main pages. We had like, between the two of them, we had 30, 50, damn near 50,000 followers between the two of them. Nuked. It, nuked after a live episode of the show. The next morning, we were gone. All of
what
us.
was the other one?
Defeat the Media. They might show up, but none of us can get to them.
Feed the media. DM. It's just a DM logo.
Maybe. No, no. It's got
No.
a. It's got. It's. I have the logo. It's like a TV screen.
Doesn't show up. Looks like
Uh.
so it was destroyed.
Yeah.
But why does it show up in my? So I try to share something and somehow it shows up as if the you can share it and stuff. So weird. Their
I don't.
system is so broken. It's actually hilarious. That is probably a gigantic security hole. So
I
all of
just
our data
still.
is still presently in Facebook servers. Well, according to
I.
their own policy, they keep them for 30 days. They're not going to
I.
delete our data. They're not going
I.
to delete it.
I still know for a fact that it was a targeted ordeal at this point,
If they delete my
and
data, like legit delete my
and
data, I'm not going to care as much. But
and
they delete it.
people in
Actually delete it.
suits, people in business attire had to talk to each other and say Jim Bob oval shorts on a serious setting in a conversation about it. And
Dude,
that is the best
I
part
wish
about the
I wish
whole
you were
thing.
closer. We could just literally record a stupid skit of that. It's like the recreation of like Jim Bob, Jim Bob. It's like the actual stupid conversation they had, and somehow they mention you. Like we have to delete him. Why? That meme about that thick lady is not okay. Like I don't know what the hell they're gonna say. Or you said slave once and actually had a context that was valid, and then
Yes.
and you could say it on YouTube and nothing happens. I didn't tell you. I noticed John was censored and he didn't know. I sent him a, a caution, like a sensitive content warning. He had no idea. Like that's how fast it probably happened to him. He's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm the first to tell you you've been censored," and he didn't even know he was censored. Um,
Jeez.
it was about the stabbing in the neck
Yeah.
because he probably wrote died or like stabbing or neck, like all those words together. I'm like, dude, you. And I just told him 2024, you got to make up a whole new language,
That's right. That's right.
verbally and like linguistically, because otherwise the system's going to just smash us. That's why I'm trying to censor myself.
True. True. I mean, as bandits put it before, we just gotta you have to finesse the system and find ways to still talk about what you want to talk about without getting deleted. And we've done a pretty good job, I think, on a lot of
The jibba
things.
jabba, the jibba
Yeah.
jabba.
Winnie the Pooh,
I mean, Winnie
space
the Pooh is a classic. If nobody
space
knows what Winnie the Pooh,
aids,
Space AIDS.
like
My
we can
God.
we can call them all kinds of things, and it just
Wait, I
we can still
forgot.
get our message
Who did you
across.
call Space AIDS? I forgot.
Space aids,
Yeah, who was it?
that one thing that everybody got from the beer, the Mexican beer, not no not Dos Equis, the other one.
See, that's creative writing course. That's advanced creative writing. All we need in this society is understanding that through art is how we're going to subvert censorship. 100%.
That's why memes are the most effective tool against government propaganda ever created, and they fight tooth and nail to silence them.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Isn't it? A silly picture on the internet with words on it is what's going to defeat the evil Ultron beast that's going to try to take us over.
Hieroglyphs.
Hieroglyphs. We're gonna go
No,
back.
seriously.
Yeah, we're gonna go back to hieroglyphs.
No, no, no. What are hieroglyphs?
Memes. They're 100% memes. You just brought a revelation there. Look at you. Look at you making people question reality.
You're looking at a meme and you're thinking, okay, that's a message that propagates. It's an image that depicted a message. Yes, it has text, but also hieroglyphs have text. But
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
hieroglyphs have text too.
They
So
do.
people are like, they're like, oh, but it's all the symbols. I'm like, look deeper. There's the text. Like, I looked at it. You can look up the Egyptian alphabet. It's interesting what we know
Yes.
because there's parts we don't know how to translate. There's sections where like, well, we don't know exactly what it says there. It looks
Mhm.
cool. I have no idea.
Hmm.
Mm.
Interesting. Well,
Inside the Great Pyramid, there's no hieroglyphs
yeah. And there's not a single hieroglyph of the pyramids being built actually either,
because it was built 13,000 years ago, probably,
if not
according
more.
to erosion.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that
Yeah,
cool though?
it is.
I'm like, damn, those
Erosion
engineers
tells a different
were.
story than
Yeah, that was James Adam. What's his name? John Adams.
Adams. I know his last name's Adams.
Yeah, the
I
older
can't
fellow.
remember
He
if it was
died.
James
He died
or.
recently, but he was the one that initiated the proposal of
Yep.
erosion theory,
Yep.
the extended erosion theory.
I
Basically, that it
mean,
was before it was in the Ice Age that they built it in the Ice Age period
if not before.
because Sahara was tropical, and it was more logical that they would have uh, thriving civilization in what all that area was like green, flush land full of
Yes.
life.
I like when they get into how the way the ripples are when you look at it from like satellite pictures or whatever, that it's totally from water receding, and
Oh,
so
that's
like
Randall Carson. If
yes, oh, Randall Carson,
anybody
I
ever
love listening
listens
to
to
him.
anything we say, is listen to Randall Carson.
I love listening to him. He's
He's
he
also
get
calming. He's also that powerful.
yeah, he's very
But
calming.
he's ridiculously. He is a human, not encyclopedia. He's a human library.
He
He's not
is
an
he
encyclopedia. He's a library.
he is he's off the chain and totally worth listening wherever you can find him to listen to. He's done tons of interviews with tons of people.
About a million different things. Basically,
Yes.
if you listen to him, have you heard it? He's basically said that he's working with people with like crazy tech.
He's working with people with tech that they're trying to keep under wraps. Like he doesn't even talk about the tech that they're working with yet.
But if half of what he's saying is true, considering everything else he says, what is he working on? Because
Magnetics,
I'm
bro. I'm
like,
telling you, magnetics.
I
There's an
know. Well,
answer out
we
there with
saw that
magnetics.
German box. We saw that. That's interesting.
Magnetics and sound. Those two
But
things
did you see that
together are
box that
going.
generated that we found that generated energy that they
Hmm.
were saying they were going to try them in right now in Vienna or
Yeah.
something?
Well, yeah, like everybody has the argument of like their ideas of green energy and nuke energy and just keeping with coal, and
We have infinite energy all around us.
and that was
It's in
something
mass. It's an infinite abundance.
that was something Nikola Tesla told us all the time, and there is ways to access that. I believe there's ways to access that energy through not only sound waves but also magnetics, and we could have endless energy and break the crippling hold that they have on the amount of money they
So
charge people to live. Like,
endless energy gives us three things. Essentially, infinite capacity to recycle, which is a
correct,
really powerful thing. Why?
correct.
Okay. If we can alter matter, which can happen with a high amount of energy, imagine all the things we can generate. I don't know how much energy is going to take for us to build something like a replicator. I could only fathom and probably get it wrong anyway. but it's probably like the same amount you need for a fusion reactor to start. It's probably
Sure,
close to that amount. They probably
sure,
need to generate. I have no idea. Um, that I would be saying I'm talking out of my ass because that stuff is really complicated.
absolutely.
Have you heard a physics lecture with this long, like tall, long neck? He's bald. He's one of the top in string theory.
I think I
It's
know who
got
you're talking about, but
with
I
an
haven't.
L. He's really good. He's mainly a, yeah. He's one of the top in the field, but his classes are comprehensible. But he still said it would take you 4 to 5 years just to get to his level studying like
Sure,
nonstop. Just what his like after like so that's the thing is we are getting to such a high level of difficulty for certain things that you will also see the rise of people like that, and the China's doing it already. They're trying
absolutely.
to make super people,
Yeah.
Ubermensch. They literally have a few people
Well,
already confirmed
y-
are Ubermensch.
look, there
They're just
was
babies.
you know we were talking earlier about the VR set and stuff like that, and one of the first things me and my old lady actually found on there was not only is there second language courses that are absolutely free that use the VR to help you learn and interact, but there's like a whole ass educational section where you can literally like learn how to code and build games or just like educational period type stuff that's VR interactive learning. And I was just like, oh shit, the boy's about to have all kinds of things he'll be excited to actually learn.
Yeah, you can. There's Minecraft education.
Oh yeah, he already does that, dude. He loves that. Like
Has he done
on
the
the
programming
tablet.
one?
He's done a couple of them. Like he there's a couple that she's downloaded onto his tablet and he's done.
He should
So
try if he likes Fortnite. He should just try to build the levels. You can
I've
monetize that. That's
I've thought,
basically what I was saying about Roblox, but with
yeah,
with Fortnite. No, I
dude.
mean
He's listen.
some.
He's
I
crazy
mean he
dangerous in Fortnite as it is. You got to come and play with us again one night because this dude.
he's improved massively. Now
Listen,
he's
this dude.
like
This
sniping.
I just sit there and watch him because he is just.
Well,
I,
once you find your zone, you it'll improve massively. So he found his zone.
and now he can play across platforms. Like there's not a
So
platform he can't play
is
on.
he becoming more like? "Toot, toot"?
Dude,
Well, I
he's one
what? How
shot and
old is
people.
he?
We go
How old is
we
he?
he's 8. We go running in when me and him are playing together. We call it
Yeah, his
cleanup.
reflexes are probably not.
We
They're
cl-
still not their fastest, but they're gonna get fast.
we call it the cleanup crew. We'll see shooting on the screen. I'll be like, Let's go, boy, let's go get it cleaned up." And we'll go down there, dude. There'll be like 3 teams fighting each other, and we'll be the
Oh,
only 2 people
I
left
love
standing.
I
Like,
love doing that. Like go into a firefight and then that's why this version is better than build. Because in
yeah,
build you don't see firefights. It's
that's
not
right.
fun. I
Yeah,
want the
I
firefight. I
want the
want to hide
firefight.
behind a tree. Like I literally
That's
hide
right.
behind a tree.
That's right. People. I that's
It's
the
like
only
playing
reason I
gotcha.
play. Yeah,
It's like playing a gotcha or like
yeah.
well we say the paintball or
I wasn't a
airsoft.
fan. I
It's
wasn't a fan of it when it was when you didn't have a choice but to build. But
Call of
now,
Duty is just exploding you and like exploding your meat sack,
yeah, yeah. Call
which
of Duty
is
is just the same.
fun, but
To me, it's the
it's a
same as it's
different
always been.
style.
I like Fortnite
Mm.
because I start. It grew on me. I wasn't a big fan of it, but after I started playing with the boy, and I like that it does change stuff up and keep the game fresh. And if you actually take the time to pause and look around at the graphics, holy shit! Like it's ridiculous at the blades of grass you can see as you're running across the field and stuff
Oh,
like that.
dude,
Like,
wait until you're playing on a high end set. Look at the
dude,
videos of the high
listen,
end versions.
like from playing on the PS4 on my big TV out here to playing on strictly now I only play from my computer. Like
The computer looks
because
way better.
I'm addicted to how it looks and plays and feels from the computer. Like I oh man, it is just so smooth. Like
And
because
you're what at like all epic graphics 1080 60 feet p.
I've got
Wow.
man when Steven rebuilt this, he added some features because he wanted me to be able to play games because he knew I was playing Fortnite with the boy, and it's got like Neptune said that this is two of the best graphic cards that exist right now. And
Which
there's two
ones?
and there's two of them in here. I don't have a clue. If Neptune was on, he could tell you I am dumb as shit when it comes to
Does it say
this.
RTX or AMD?
I believe it says RTX.
Probably probably 3060s or 3070s.
I just know that the
I'm
entire
not sure if the
game
newer ones even combine anymore.
the
They probably
the
do.
the entire game is crystal clear and runs like butter,
Butter.
just right across the top, man.
Especially if you don't need to play them at 120 frames per second. Most people are fine at 60.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Like
I
60
I was
frames.
able to play thanks to the new technology with DLSS Cyberpunk at like 100 frames almost. I mean, I
Oh
wasn't
man,
using that many, but it was going as high as almost 100, and it looked great, almost high graphics, not ultra, but I don't want to. My computer can't run ultra; it goes to 24 frames, like or 12.
fair.
Um, but it's incredible where we're going, and it's scary where it's how fast it's getting there.
The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race.
I mean, I had to get it in before the show was over. You know, I have to. And you opened the door for me too good.
Yep.
It sucks tonight that you were the only one that did show up. Shame, shame, shame on the rest of you guys for not showing up for the first episode of the year. I am shaming you tonight because I was excited to play a game of Pirates Against Humanity because for Christmas I got a new expansion pack. And
That
I
is a good movie.
and I and I was gonna pull them all. I was gonna pull them straight from the box for you guys to play with. So you were gonna get away without that happening this evening. Unfortunately, hopefully when we come back next week, we'll have a little bit more full house. And all of our viewers out there and all of our friends out there, you're always more than welcome to hitch a ride and come join us for these conversations. You're more than welcome. All it takes is a link, and make sure you got a good mic because Luis will call you out if you have mic problems in a heartbeat. So make sure that's working properly because it's always good to have these conversations. I know it's a bunch of nonsense, but it doesn't. And it's sad that Bandit Neptune, or any of the other folks ain't here this evening. But it's good to just chat with the boys and get things off your chest and
It,
nonsense
it
about
won't it
nonsense.
won't be nonsense. I mean, you'll see.
I know. I mean, it's shoot. We broke. This is episode number wise consecutive episodes. This is episode 190, but as far as like episodes total, we have done over 200 with our little specials and stuff we've done over time. We're going into our third year of existence for the show. So like I think that's pretty awesome.
I told you, you're already in the top 1% because of the amount. They said after X amount of years and X amount of episodes, you already are in the 1% of creators.
Sweet. So there's enough content out there for me for Luis to create an entirely fake episode of me via AI.
Yeah, there was an old one made of Steve Jobs being interviewed by Joe Rogan. That was early. Now somebody can make that much better.
Right? That's interesting. We could make us some really interesting guests just with AI on here for fun.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
if
plausible. You you
we
could show
we
you could show up as Joe Biden if you wanted to.
the voice software though, dude, doesn't work on my computer. My computer has some
Oh,
issue with some driver somewhere, something, and I
oh,
just can't get my voice to come out different.
that's no worries, of course. But I do appreciate you coming and joining me this evening and hanging out. Even uh,
It was great.
it's great to see you in the new year, of course. It's great that you're still sticking around. I appreciate your input on so much stuff because we love Luis's perspective. The guys tell me all the time that I did a good job outsourcing and finding you because you put an extra spin on the show that I don't think we'd ever had without you. So I appreciate you sticking around for this past year, and I look forward to you sticking around some more. So It's always fun, especially now that we're doing our live Wednesday nights. I love our live Wednesday nights. I did remove us from Kick this evening, and I did throw us on Instagram. I've been checking in. I know the picture's a little crummy on Instagram. I've already read on how to fix it, and it will be better next week when we go live there. I promise. And as far as everywhere else, you guys know where it's at over there on Rumble, Odyssey, YouTube, and Twitter. I appreciate all you folks tuning in there this evening. Yeah, and
Oh my
it's
god, it's so bad.
it's so bad. They can hear us, but they can't see us for nothing.
I love it.
Yeah,
I know it's not your fault. It's
it's
just
not.
simple.
It's my first time using it, but now I know how to fix it. It just wouldn't let me fix it after I hit the go live button. So,
God, that's so funny.
but I
That is funny as hell.
it is what it is. Technical difficulties happen. It's a learning curve that I have, and we'll get there eventually. But all in all, I think this was a good conversation about a bunch of nonsense. I'm glad you joined me again this evening, Luis. Do you have anything good for us this evening before we get ready to depart?
Better things once the cycle breaks.
Yeah, nice. Nice. And once again, I appreciate all you folks out there watching the live stream and whatnot. And I do appreciate all you folks that'll go back and check the re-record over on BitChute if it'll fit, because BitChute's a bit of a finicky place, of course. And you will hear it on all the places that you listen to us at. I appreciate you folks out there that are still supporting that. That's well over 11,000 downloads and still counting, which I think is pretty awesome, because that means that 11,000 people plus have downloaded my audio for no reason other than to listen to me gobble on about nonsense. So woohoo for that. So I appreciate you folks. And I even appreciate the folks out there making parody of pages about me, because that in itself means that I made it, I believe. So, of course, you guys know that I've always got something good for you this evening to leave you with before we actually do the whole signing out thing. And you know that I'm just absolutely awful, actually, when it comes to doing that kind of thing. So um, Luis, how do you circumcise a hillbilly?
No.
No? Why? Why no? Why you're not gonna give me anything? Nothing at all?
With his guitar string?
You kick his sister in the jaw. Good night, everyone.